Hello, my friends, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's the beginning of October, my favorite time of year, so I hope you enjoy the decorations. There will be portions of this video that do not have decorations. That is because I recorded them yesterday, and so I didn't have the decorations up, obviously. So don't be surprised if they pop in and out. I wanted to start today with this amusing meme I found from Dark Road Games. I'm a developer. Be honest, I make game engines. Be honest, I'm a political activist. Thank you. Just made me chuckle. So today we are going to pick up where I left off in the previous video, which is reading King Harkinian's tweets about the whole Godot. I've been corrected about how to say it, but I'm just going to continue saying it Godot because why not? Which brings us to King Harkinian. It says, fucking hell. The engine and project are amazing. I've supported and encouraged trying it for years. It deserves so much love and money. But they got infested a year ago, and the normal guys leading the project do not realize how serious this is. Far left scum always infiltrate, inquisite, instill. They're banning the people who don't bow to the political line and will turn it into a political horse to ride against everyone. Damn it, this is disheartening. He goes on to make a post tagging Grums in an attempt to explain some things. Here he says, hey Grums, I'm not sure where to put this, where you'll read it. If anyone knows how to get him to read it, please retweet or PM him so he gets this info. I've been following Godot for a long time, both on Twitter and their blog posts. I'd like to give a rundown of things the way I understand them. 1. Juan is not a political guy. He has some enemies, but clearly dodges politics like the plague. His Twitter is 99% technical, and he always gives your typical naive responses to anything political. I don't believe in conspiracy theories or this policy is about equality. There's no problem with it. Which actually right there tells you the majority of what his politics are. But even as it gets everyone banned for not being far left. You're putting a lot of pressure on him right now, and I think you're barking up the wrong tree. He is certainly the Godot guy, but I'm 99% sure he didn't set up these policies or choose that community manager. He trusted the wrong people around him. He worked on Godot for nearly 10 years, carried it, and basically developed it alone for a long time. It's a wonderful project. He is very talented and doesn't deserve the shit he's getting right now. The pressure shouldn't be on him, so I want to put it on the right people instead. There have been numerous odd signs around Godot in the past 6 months to a year. This @Yuri Sivov, who was one of the top contributors, suddenly got fired. The weird part about it is that he stayed very active and tried supporting the engine even after he got fired, so clearly didn't want to be kicked out. When people asked in the old Discord about why, the answer was incredibly strange. We can't say. If Yuri wants to talk about it, he will. Which made no sense. Either he was fired for a clear reason, either he left and doesn't want to say why. My guess is that he was fired for purely political reasons. He's Russian. He was fired over Ukraine war reasons and basically not wanting to say Russia is evil. You can have your own opinions about him not being against his own country, but he clearly didn't bring politics in the engine, and his work was top tier. Has numerous blog posts on their official Godot website too. He was heavily dogged around by an obviously Ukrainian hater. But that guy got kicked out of the engine too and still goes around throwing hate posts, including against Lenitsky. Some few months ago, the current community manager was introduced, green hair and all. I immediately saw the writing on the wall and got worried. My worries got confirmed when two things happened. They immediately decided that the long-standing Godot Discord server, now renamed Godot Cafe, was just not good enough, despite years of good functionality and a community of 90,000 plus. Holy crap. And wanted an official server. The justification for the official server was to prevent hostile takeovers and get people the moderation they deserved, i.e. a power grab. I immediately assumed that this was the green-haired trolls wanting full control of the system and ability to ban anyone they didn't like, and I didn't miss. Apparently, the new server is full of far-left crap and every obsession with the alphabet being enforced as the main subject, while the old Godot Cafe is still active, fully apolitical, and is now all about Godot and game dev. Unfortunately, that is apparently not entirely true, as we saw with Starkium. The new server was followed by a new code of conduct, which was through and through about far-left crap. It was basically kiss the trans or get banned. Really, no surprise from me, and I didn't even enter that one. Despite having been publicly vocal about the current issues plus numerous screenshots of my posts online, Godot Cafe hasn't banned me yet, which I think speaks a lot about it. It's still the functional hub of historical Godot users, in my opinion. I think you are mistaking the scapegoat Linetsky with the true culprit here, which I'm 90% sure is Awakens. Awakens is a known far-left advocate and has many, many political posts. I can't get any out because, well, he blocked me, the same as I got blocked by the official Godot engine when I denounced all this crap yesterday. To illustrate just how far-left the guy is, I remember this kind of conversation. Leonitsky. The engine is so everyone can do game dev. It's not really about the poor or the rich or any political camp. Aiken, I wouldn't say that. We're doing this engine for a good cause, to push the right camp up. Words are apocryphal, but the spirit is that. Leonitsky always did this with the intent to make Godot a true FOSS engine. Aiken absolutely wants to use it as a vessel to push the right ideologies and concepts forward. His Twitter is full of political crap and has been for years. I'm telling you all this because Leonitsky is taking a lot of pressure that shouldn't be on him at all. It is the typical far-left scumbag strategy of doing all the shit they do, then shove the responsibility to a good man in charge that's trying to do the right thing and keep everyone happy. They are openly sabotaging the entire engine and community, and all the pressure is being eaten by Leonitsky. The guy doesn't deserve this at all, and more than that, I think it's just their goal, to antagonize Leonitsky into a small little box with only them versus the rest of us. I may sound like a fanboy, and I am, but he's a genuine good man that's never blocked or rejected talking with anybody, even when I told him plain to his face that he was being a naive fool. He still hasn't blocked me. Meanwhile, the official Godot account and Aiken have both blocked me, while I never interacted with either. These scum are pushing him to take the pressure and hiding behind. They are disgusting to that level. The reason as to why Aiken was allowed to push his little far-left scumbag friends is because he is the project manager and effectively merges nearly all pull requests to the engine. Typical far-left commie tactic of holding control over what gets in and what doesn't. I don't know if he's abused that position or not. To summarize, Leonitsky is apolitical, trying to please everyone, and is being manipulated into taking all the pressure and conflict, and is entirely the victim here. I suspect Aiken to be fully the one pushing for far-left infestation of Godot, and to have been the one pushing for this community manager, and to be forcing them to stay in right now. People like Yuri Sizov shouldn't have been fired, and were fired for political reasons. Leonitsky needs to be spared, not pressured. Aiken should be directly seen as the problem. Of course, I want that community manager out. The old Godot community to return to being game dev oriented and apolitical. I think Leonitsky is being naive and is being heavily manipulated and even possibly threatened from the inside of Aiken leaving the project if the far left crap isn't allowed to continue. Frankly, if Aiken is on a my far left ideology or I leave the project route, he has already left the project and is only using it as a political vessel. This is the kind of hostage taking, especially from someone doing all the merge request control, is not acceptable. The politicization of Godot must stop. Contributors should be allowed in based on contribution quality alone, and Leonitsky shouldn't be taking all that pressure. All that said, holy shit, that was a long read. All that said, I still think I'm right. I still think that the problem is that Juan doesn't have the general demeanor to deal with this kind of argument, and so he just doesn't. Our friend Artur says a mandatory subscription to groupthink is a very high price for an open source tool. You can fork and use the engine but lose access to the community and support for criticism of ideas. Maintaining a fork is a massive project like this. It sounds good in theory, but is impractical. And here you see the posts he's quoting. I always knew Godot engine was on the path to eventual downfall. As a former Godot maintainer, I even predicted it years ago, but never expected it to happen this fast. And there's many of the people who have been blocked throughout the day. Dylan Falconer says, in this case, you can still use Godot regardless of what their community manager thinks, thanks to the license. With other third-party engines, you aren't so lucky. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. It only matters that some people are looking to punish you for them. Artur said, in response to everything that was going on, this is why I made a custom game engine. And if you don't remember, Artur is the creator of Soul Ash and came under fire not too long ago for the fact that his legacy system didn't allow for same-sex marriage, And people got very upset when he said that wasn't on his priority list. Now, in direct response to what Dylan is saying here, you have Anthony Waldsmith, who has been blocked on GitHub. Now, you might want to ask what happens when someone gets blocked on GitHub. When you block a user, the user stops following you, stops watching, and unpins your repositories. Your stars and issue assignments are removed from your repositories. Votes on discussions or comments in your repositories are deleted. The user is removed as a collaborator on your repositories. The user's contributions to your repositories are no longer counted as contributions for them. Your contributions to the blocked user's repositories are no longer counted as contributions for you. You are removed as a collaborator on their repositories. Their sponsorship of you is canceled. Any pending repositories or account successor invitations to or from the blocked account user are canceled. The user is removed as a collaborator from all projects owned by you. You are removed as a collaborator from all projects owned by the user. After you've blocked a user, they cannot send you any notifications, comment or edit issues, react to your comments on issues, follow you or see your content in their activity feed, assign you to issues or pull requests, invite you as a collaborator in general, cross-reference your repositories, fork, watch, pin, or star your repositories, sponsor you, add you as a collaborator, or make changes on your public projects. In repositories you own, blocked users also cannot open issues, send, close, or merge pull requests, comment on issues, pull requests, or commits, add or edit wiki pages. So it sounds like that would be pretty inconvenient for somebody who's trying to use your repository. So they can and will go to the point of making it very difficult for you to use their repository. In response to this, people are now blocking the community manager in hopes that they can't block them, which honestly, I'm not sure how that works. This fellow says, in response to the unjustified blocking spree by an unhinged person who is a maintainer for the Godot game engine project, I have preemptively blocked the blocker in hopes that this is a hack around so I can continue to access the project from my primary GitHub account. This person who says, what the fuck is wrong with people running Godot? They had a huge opportunity after the Unity debacle to improve and disrupt the industry, but they responded by knocking back valid feedback, criticisms, doubling down on weird stances, and literally blocking everyone. Huge skill issue in my opinion. Now this guy goes on to say, it may surprise some people who responded to this to learn that I am not anti-woke. I am also a far-left, anti-capitalist who loves and respects all the genders, pronouns, and sexualities. I think that your primary focus as a game engine company should be making a game engine, however. Which, I mean, I don't agree with this person on any fundamental plane at all, except for the fact that if you have a game engine company, you should be focused on making a game engine and not trying to engineer society. Now here's a response. It's an open source. Maybe somebody should fork it. Ben responds, in my opinion, it would be better if a group broke off and started making their own engine from scratch without a decade of technical and political debt attached, referring to the internal politics of how Godot manages their engine, not their recent statements. No one wants to touch it now. Now, for those of you who don't know, forking is a copy of an open source project that has been developed independently. So they take a copy of the project as is right now and begin their own extension of it, or fork, like fork in the road. So it's a new path that goes down. And with all the talk of forking, there is, of course, people who have gone ahead and done so. One of the ones I've seen is Redot. I forked Godot and rebranded it for the sake of supply chain security against possible threats. Example, license changes to enforce woking for engine users. See the power of open source. So that's out there for those of you who like that. And in a more serious note, they have Redot, is what I'm going to call it. I don't know how they're saying it, but I can't pronounce words, so I'm going to make up my own. Redot Engine is an open source fork of Godot with the goal of fulfilling the promise of Godot. We will be having a space on Friday, 10/4/24, time to be determined, to formally launch. Share and let us know what you want to see us cover. And it sounds like so far they're talking about implementing a lot of the pull requests, bug fixes, and so on and so forth that have been ignored to this point in Godot. So they seem to be taking this fairly seriously. Unfortunately, it didn't take long, but there are people already trying to cause a problem within this new ecosphere. You have Cherith here saying, guys, let's try our best not to be like Godot Wocott. If we do, we'll be no different from them. The best way to fight this is to create games that speak fluent fun over propaganda and politics. Here he has retweeted Redo, where they say, please keep in mind we are dealing with a lot of people who wish to troll our GitHub. We are working to keep it clean and get our first build to you all. Please do not retaliate or attack Godot. We will win this by being better and focused on making great games with a great engine. In the comments, there are plenty of people talking about how they have a golden opportunity to grab this and really make a go for it. People asking them to make sure to be safe and that they're careful about who they let contribute. They feel they have a great core team so far, and they're using an abundance of caution, which is absolutely necessary at this point. Here's someone asking, do you have a list in mind about what the priority targets are in Redo? Performance, fixing or creating some missing features, physics, bitmap fonts, etc. And Redo says, everything you mentioned is things that have been overwhelmingly requested. The team is assessing what to do first. When we have more firm news, we'll let you know. Redo seems to be getting a tremendous amount of support already. They have over 6,000 followers here on Twitter. 2 hours ago, they said, thank you for the massive support in the first 24 hours of us working on this project. We are really looking forward to earning your trust and hopefully making lots of great games that we can showcase in the community. Expect more information as we get closer to Friday's Spaces on X. A small announcement, the community produced and is voting on a new logo for our engine. After that, we will be doing a vote on our mascot. If you want to vote, feel free to join the Discord and vote. The logo winner will be announced tomorrow. So there is the Discord, the GitHub. There will be a link directly to this account down in the comments. There is a lot more to cover on this Godot stuff. I have a whole lot of tweets, a whole lot of documentation, stuff to talk about. They put out a statement today in regards to the actions of the moderators and everything, and that is its own whole mess. So it looks like I'm probably going to be doing a third video, assuming people still appear to be interested. So let me know down in the comments your thoughts on everything in this video, and if you're interested in seeing a third, because there really is just so much more. I've got an entire document's worth of stuff to go through, but I don't want to bore anybody at the same time with it. I'm also thinking about doing horror games on the stream for the month. So if you have any recommendations for that you might like to see me play on the Thursday streams, let me know. I will not be streaming on Halloween itself because that is my anniversary, and I will be doing other things on that day. However, today is a good day to remind everybody that if you would like to support the channel, please feel free to become a member. I genuinely appreciate everybody who chooses to support, though I appreciate absolutely anybody who chooses to spend their time here listening to me. The support that I get in that regard has been absolutely amazing, and I can't thank each and every one of you enough. However, I do want to thank those who are members of the channel. They are DX Machina NZ, Emperor Doomsday, Zan Zoltan, Snake Oil Sean, Schmidted, Almogo, Green-Haired Anti-Liberal, Michael Wheeler, Adam Splitter, DJ Direwolf, and Felix. Thank you guys so much for your support. I genuinely appreciate it. For those of you who might be interested in supporting but don't want to become a YouTube member, I do have a Ko-fi, however you want to say it. I call it Ko-fi, but I'm sure it's coffee, that you can support through if you wish. It is down in the description, as well as a throne where I have some stuff for my pets, some stuff for the general setup here, if you're interested in supporting in that way. I try not to be too pushy with any of this just because I always feel a little weird doing it, but at the same time, I know that if I never say anything, people don't know that it's there. Either way, I appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.